So Marisa, what's the importance of acknowledging and dedicating a whole month to mental health awareness, especially in today's climate?
There's still a stigma about mental health. We have Breast Cancer Week. There's no stigma about that. But people still think, oh, what have I got to be anxious about? It's like saying, what have I got to be diabetic about? So if you're suffering with mental health, stress, anxiety, depression, if you feel life isn't worth living, we need to shine a light on that and say, this is not your fault. Human beings are hardwired to require connection, yet we're creating a world of disconnection. People work from home. They go to a store where there's no tellers. Banks got no tellers. I got in a taxi recently and it had no driver. It was a Wegovy. So while we're creating this world of disconnection, we're making people mentally ill. We're affecting their mental health. And we're creating a solution saying, look, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. You may have had a broken childhood. You may have some broken beliefs, but you as a person are not broken. You're not even damaged, but you might have damaged thinking. You may have some broken thinking, but we can fix that. So we just want people to realize that mental health is so common. There's nothing to be ashamed of. You wouldn't say I'm ashamed of having headaches or I'm ashamed of having my skin break out. It's a normal thing. Society is creating this and society has to also create the solution to it. And that's what we're doing.
If someone has a friend, a family member, a loved one, a colleague that they can see struggling, how do they address it? How can they be a good companion?
You have to listen, you can offer help, but first of all, listen. I notice you're not yourself. You seem a little flat. Can I do anything? Don't say what's wrong with you. Say, can I do anything? Can I help you? There are nowadays books and courses, and we have so many free audios and free resources to help people. But people need to be pointed in the right direction. One of the interesting things about depression is that people who are depressed have a belief. It's genetic. There's no cure. And if it was, it wouldn't work for me. It's not actually genetic. And there is a cure and it will work for you. But the belief that I'm not worthy of it is a really interesting. People who suffer with mental health have these interesting beliefs. I'm not worthy of help. I can't get better. Both of those things are completely incorrect. You are worthy of help and you can definitely get better, vastly better.
That leads me on to my next question. What are the biggest myths about mental health that keep people stuck?
That weak people have it, that it's self-indulgent. We used to say, pull yourself together, snap out of it. No one says to someone who's got chronic diarrhea, pull yourself together and snap out of it. But these words, it's all in your head. You just got to pull yourself together, are saying, you're imagining this, you're self-indulgent, snap out of it. You'd never say to someone with cancer, snap out of it. It's very unkind. Feeds into that stigma that it's an indulgent disease of people who spend too long thinking about themselves, and it simply isn't true.
How can RTT turn mental health awareness into true lasting change?
Well, we have phenomenal case results. I worked on OCD and she was fixed in one session. People with chronic depression, suicidal thoughts, anxiety, insomnia, fears, phobias. We do an extraordinarily stellar job of making people better, putting people back together again.
And I guess sharing our content, being able to make this something that people want to associate themselves with.
Well, sharing content, letting people know they're not alone and letting them know this thing that you can get better, and you can get better really, really quickly if you know how. But most people don't know how. They're condemned to believe this is a life sentence. I've got the depressed gene. I've got the alcoholic gene. I've got the anxious gene. And if it's a gene, I can't get better. But even that isn't true. It doesn't matter what you've got. You also have an incredible mind that can help you get vastly better very quickly.
But there's so many people that are saying, I want to change, but they just don't know where to start and they just don't know how to begin.
And then, of course, we hear things like leopards can't change their spots. It's too hard to change. I just can't change. From the minute you're born, you are changing. And when you can control the direction of change in your life and make it change for the better, you'll never again say it's so hard to change, because we're all changing every minute. But we have to understand what does change look like? What can I do with it? Can I change? You get to change twice every single day of your life. Every day you get the chance to change a thought, which will change a feeling, which will change a behavior.
So if someone is just feeling stuck, they can feel mental health closing in on them. What is the one thing they can do right now to start moving forward?
Well, a few things. I really recommend joining a support group so you're not in it alone. So you don't think, it's just me. There are people just like you. Join a support group and We have so many free audios to help you on depression, anxiety, self-esteem. They're all absolutely free. So go to marisappear.com and take some of those. But do join a support group so you're not in it alone. You know that the success of AA is actually down to the community. That's what works, the fact that you find people like you. And there are support groups. Even if you're in the middle of nowhere, you can join an online one. But you need to find people that can listen to you and help you and realize, oh, you're not alone in this, because you really are not alone in this.
You have worked with thousands and thousands of clients. Has there ever been a story that has moved you so deeply it changed how you even saw mental health?
Do you know, I've worked with so many clients, but I'm thinking of someone. I was teaching my school in New York, and there was a guy in the classroom, and he had a little flannel because he sweated so much, and it really upset him and distressed him. And asked him to come up, and I worked with him, and he told me that his father was a farmer, and he had him at 14 working on the farm, and he'd hit him a lot. But one day he went, oh, you're sweating, you're obviously working like a man. So he didn't hit him anymore. And he thought, to believe if I'm sweating, I'm seen to be working hard. And that's very important because children learn what they live. And that was a very interesting story because he actually stopped all the sweating. The brain created it in response to a situation where he was being hit a lot by someone whose job it was to protect him. That didn't change how I looked at mental health, but what it made me see, which I already knew, was that when the mind thinks you're in crisis, it creates a physical reaction. I'm going to make you sweat so much you don't get hit. When you're in a situation, the brain does one thing, and it does it because of three things being with P. It's going to protect you, to prioritize you, to punish you. You think, well, why would my brain punish me? But if you've run off with your friend's partner, stolen some money from your mother's purse, and you feel guilty, the brain starts to create things. Oh, now I've got these headaches to assuage the guilt. Now I've got this upset stomach to get rid of the guilt. So the brain is always protecting you, prioritizing you, and actually punishing you. And often we say, well, I'm no good. I don't deserve better. Oh, you shouldn't have. Don't bother. We're very good at diminishing ourselves. So I see clients all the time with very low self-esteem who believe I don't deserve better. This is my lot in life. Just got to accept I've been dealt a bad card. But the beginning of your life is not your life. It's just the beginning. And now we're going to live into our hundreds. So we need to change the rest of it. Say, well, that was the beginning, but it's now up to me. My parents didn't do a great job of supporting me or loving me, but I can do that job. I can take over now and support and love myself. So we learn what we live. And our childhood is only the first 18 years. You've got often another 82 years. So we attach so much importance to the formative years, which we should, without realizing, wow, I've got 80 years to change. And we can change powerfully, permanently, and rapidly. But we really do have to know exactly how.
And if you had one message that you could share around mental health?
You're enough. You're worthy of help. You're worthy of living your best life. So start to say, I'm enough, I'm enough. You don't have to believe it, you just have to state it. And then affirm it, and then embody it. And when you know you're enough, you can ask for help because you know you're worthy of it. But you also can find connection. See, many of us are not choosing connection, which means we're choosing disconnection. We're living very alone lives. So work on your enoughness, work on connection. And then you'll find you can find help, but you'll also find that if you have enoughness and connection, you're going to get better anyway. I'm a great believer that you can't heal what you can't feel, and you can't heal what you don't understand, but understanding is power. When you go, wow, I know now why I do that. Now I understand what made me tick, and I can tick in a very different way. If you'd like to understand what is running you, what's getting in your own way, and how you can be free of that and live your very best life, go to innerbelief.com. Book an appointment with someone who's going to talk to you about what they can do for you. It's a free discovery call, and it could change your entire life.